What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family? Thank you so much for tuning in to this special reading of the Book of Enoch. For those who have not witnessed any of the Book of Enoch yet, I'm going to get you fully caught up on this, so there's no reason to have to go get caught up if you don't want to get caught up. But there are several other videos in this series that I have already done where we do go over the Book of Enoch, and it is an incredible book of the Apocrypha. Now, before we get into this, guys, I want to give a shout out to our Creator. I want to thank Him for life. I want to thank Him for all of us that are able to sit around these little tables and listen in. And I want to thank Him for His Word, for His beautiful, beautiful Word that has been presented to us in the ways of the Torah. The first 5 books of Scriptures, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And it is in those 5 books that we have the ruling set of laws, statutes, and commandments for the ruling government that is going to be coming. And in fact, it's not even a ruling government that's coming, it's a ruling government that is already here if we will embrace it. When you take a breath of the first 5 books of Scriptures, when you look at them through a microscope, through a set of binoculars, through a telescope, and you look at their incredible words and the ways of wisdom that we have been given, it's a breath of fresh air. It's something that all of us can have hope in. It's something that all of us can find our way forward in. And it's something that every single one of these 400,000 different religions out there don't care about. There's not a single religion out there that has value to the Torah. When you look at the various religions of the zoos, and I use that word because it's easy to get crushed on these platforms over various things. And so when you look at the zoo religion that says they keep the Torah, well, they don't only keep the Torah, but they keep the Kabbalah, the Zohar, and all of the oral Torah, which is called the Talmud. Now, when you look at the roots of Freemasonry, and you look at the actual doctrine of Freemasonry, a lot of it looks very similar to what you find in the Zohar, in the Kabbalah. And so we have to be very understanding and very astute that what we need to do as the people of our creators, we need to come back into covenant. We need to become this remnant. We need to become the set apart people that are truly basking in the first 5 books of Scriptures and those books only, as far as our governing law. Now, that goes completely opposite of what the Christian religion is, because they'll say, well, we only use the New Testament because the Old Testament has been done away with. It's been nailed to the cross. And they have a new God. His name is Paul. And Paul tells them ways that are not correct. Paul will say the laws have been done away with. In a lot of his letters that are not written to you, but they're actually responses to questions and problems little ecclesias have, we have created our own set of doctrine. And this doctrine conflicts very heavily with the Torah. Because in the Torah, there's only about 158 commands that we can keep today. We're not supposed to be slaughtering animals. We don't need to. We have a Messiah who became our priest and who also became our sacrifice. So we don't need that side of the Torah. But there's good instructions. Being obedient to our parents, loving our neighbor as ourselves. Don't drink blood. Don't eat the fat. Do what we say we are going to do. Don't tempt our Creator. Be fruitful. Multiply. Right? And in this world that we live into, the last thing that we're doing is multiplying. In fact, we are living under a big genocide where the world is dying off all around us. And people are very much dying in mass. And birth rates are completely down. People are very sick. And people don't understand it, right? You have these guys in the white coats. They don't understand. Why is everybody dying? But for those of us with eyes to see and ears to hear, it's very obvious why that is. We've seen the events of this decade unfold. And a lot of us weren't complicit with it. A lot of us fought back. A lot of us were like, this isn't okay. And so now we are living to see the next day. And what our bodies are, is our bodies are temples to the Most High. This is where our Creator will instill His Ruach HaKodesh, what people call the Holy Spirit. This is where we will be stronger spiritually if we keep a physically strong body. But if we're ingesting drugs, if we're ingesting alcohol, if we are partaking in things that hurt our temple, well, we're just kicking the Ruach HaKodesh out. We're kicking the opportunity that we have to get closer to our Creator, who will absolutely get close to us. Now, for those of you out there that only have Jesus Christ, and you have nothing else, you don't have the Torah, well, Messiah Yahushua, Jesus, as you would call him, there were no J's in Hebrew, so I don't use the word Jesus. His Hebrew name was Yahushua. Well, he says in Matthew 7, "Depart from me, you who are lawless." Most people don't understand that. When you read Matthew 7 very, very slowly, it becomes very, very clear that there is a covenanted path. Read Hebrews 8. Hebrews 8, the entire chapter. The Christians love to dwell upon that chapter. When you are in that chapter, it's giving instructions to 2 different houses, which are comprised of 12 different tribes. Now, these 12 tribes are different than the rest of the world. These 12 tribes are what you call Torah keepers, law keepers, the people that observe the laws, the statutes, and commandments of our Creator. Now, I gave a shout out to our Creator, but I'd also like to give a shout out to our Messiah Yahushua. He was amazing. He did an amazing job. And when he fasted 40 days, that's no joke. And for those of you guys who have been fasting with me, guys, I've been not doing good, which is why you have not heard from me up until today. And so I made it to 120 hours, 5 full days of fasting. And last night I gave in, drank some bone broth, ate some eggs, and my digestive system is completely wacky now as it's starting to re-kick. So I am going to be feasting today and tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, Shabbat night, at the end of Shabbat, that'll be the last meal I have again, and I am going to go back into this fast. Now, in 2 weeks' time, I've lost about 13 pounds. And this morning I weighed in lighter than I've weighed in for a very, very long time. And so the effects of fasting are absolutely working out. For those who didn't know, at the January 6th of this year, the doctors diagnosed me with 1 year left to live. They said if I didn't make it to a diabetic clinic and start shooting insulin right away, I was going to die. There's no way around it. And I told my doctor, I said, hey, I'm just going to change my diet. I'm going to work better. He's like, that'll never work. You're too far beyond it. He's like, even if you get help, even if you get insulin now, you only have about 5 or 6 years left to live based upon your numbers. And I was like, well, I am a victim of the events of this decade, right? I've seen what's happened in the last, 10 years. I've seen the psychological operations that are being pulled against the people. And I said to myself, you know what? I've done this to myself. I will undo this to myself. Where there's a will, there's a way. And so most of this year, of this 7-8 months that we're into this year from my diagnosis, I was working through things, right? Even looking into the big pharma stuff, metformin, and I was never going to take the injections, but I'm not happy with anything that I've been presented inside the medical establishment. I went down the road of heavy cinnamon extracts and trying to repair myself like this, but the problem is when you get to a certain level with diabetes type 2, it's a carbohydrate overload. It means you've eaten way too many sugars and you are insulin resistant, which means your insulin just produces and produces and produces, but the sugars it doesn't work anymore. The only thing that I have successfully found that will completely reverse type 2 diabetes is fasting. And as I am fasting, there's a phenomena, actually for everybody who's a type 2 diabetic, you can do this as well. This is not just an anomaly with me. This is something that it's taking some work, and it's definitely taking some hunger. And what you can do is you can absolutely reverse this. And what you have to do, and where I was going with that is there's a phenomenon in the morning called it's the morning blood sugar levels. And every single morning before we wake up, our kidneys and liver like produce enough glucose that it's supposed to kick us into gear. But for those of us who are sick with type 2 diabetes, you have a really high blood sugar. Now, as you get into a day or two of fasting and your body recovers from all of this, I could wake up in the morning and my blood sugar is 102, which is really, really good. And then it would drop down into 90s and 80s. And so all 5 days that I was super fasting, my body was going into a thing they call ketosis. Now, ketosis happens when the more you fast, the more ketosis happens. And that is the process of your body eating its own fat. Now, that is a wonderful, wonderful thing when this happens. And so when your body is eating its own fat, instead of using glucose, which is normally what it's looking for, it will literally go into the cells and eat it. Now, this is all a process that our Creator has developed into our bodies that is very, very amazing. In fact, the science behind more of this is that the longer we fast, up into about a 72-hour fast, a process called autophagy works. Now, autophagy is where you will start eating the old bad cells in your body. Your brain cells go away, the bad brain cells, the brain fog, cancer cells get eaten. This is a cure for cancer. This is a cure for sickness. This is an anti-aging cure. There is so much that is amazing, because the second you start eating again, then your bone marrow creates brand new stem cells. So you're getting like $40,000 injections after a 5-day water fast. All of a sudden, you're going to become bulletproof, right? You have a better chance of getting hit by a car than by dying of some sort of heart disease or something that we have done to our bodies. And so I am becoming the living testimony of our Creator's incredible design and his workmanship. And guys, this isn't a random happenstance that we can fast for 40 days and our bodies get healed, or we have the ability to stay alive, right? You're not going to die by fasting. Sometimes you feel like you're going to die. I definitely, day five was a tough one for me. I will be honest. I was breaking in my spirit, and I was it was more boredom than anything, right? Boredom is the disaster of fasting. And so, guys, I would like to encourage everybody out there to fast. For those of you guys that were fasting with me, if you're still fasting, I broke mine. So, guys, if you can continue on and you haven't broken yet, continue on, guys. Go as long as you can. This is going to heal you guys from a totally different perspective. And it is a gift from our Creator to us for those of us that are willing to do it. So, guys, much love to everybody out there. Thank you for everybody who was fasting. I know there's a lot of you guys out there who are fasting with me. And so shout out to you. Give me a drop in the comments how far you guys went this round, how you guys felt. It is a process, and I'm going to do a fasting video just on the fasting side of things here in a little bit. And describe it and log this, because I think it's very important that we log this and my progression into this and the whole fasting side of things. Okay, so guys, let's get into this. What you're looking at is you were looking at Yah Scriptures. This is the greatest English translation you will ever find anywhere, anytime. This is a 7-pound Bible. This is a big scriptures, guys. This is not something small. This is not something for the weak. If you guys want, email in. There's an email at the very bottom of the description, and we can give you a place to get cases for this. I think they're like $12, and it's an amazing little case that you can walk around with, and it makes this far more portable than what it is. But you guys can just go to yahscriptures.com. All of the free versions are there. See that word at the very top, Yah Scriptures? If you put that into your Apple store or your Android store, you will absolutely find the free versions of this, and people are loving this. People are reading these scriptures. People are writing in. This has been a life changer. This has been a game changer. Never before has there been a restored named scriptures that is available on all these devices. We also have the eSword modules. It's just all out there, guys. It's free, 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 and it is free for everybody. And what we're doing is that every scriptures of these big blues that you're able to order, we're able to get into these prison systems this same version. Now we're going to be converting over to our small paperbacks, and our paperbacks are en route. They will be hitting New York, I believe in the second week of August, they will be to our distribution center towards the last week of August, and we're going to pop all of your guys' orders out. So for everybody that's out there waiting for these, the little paperback version is almost there. Thank you so much for waiting. Thank you so much for being a part of the Yah Scriptures prison ministry. And we're converting over to the smaller versions of this for our prison ministry because we're having such a tough time in a lot of these prisons. They will not allow Big Blue in there, right? Big Blue's 7 pounds, which can be used as a weapon, which could literally kill somebody. And in the environment of the prisoners, that's obviously a problem. And so, guys, what we're doing is we have a huge prison ministry. And for those of you guys out there that are looking, that have prisoners, that have people in these prisons, family, we have a pen pal ministry. And so we're always looking for new leads. We're always looking for those people who need a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of support. I have 3 sons, and my 3 sons have taken over this pen pal ministry. Before I handed off the pen pal ministry to them, I think I had over about 2,300 emails in by myself that I did by myself, and I got burned out. I have begged and pleaded and everybody out there forever to please join me in this, and I have never found a single one of you guys out there that has ever said, hey, and committed to it and helped us out with this. And so we just took this on as a family. And so it is an every night thing. Before they go to bed, they jump into their email and they reply to these guys. And so if you guys can help us with stamps at yahscriptures.com, there's a place that you guys can help us donate stamps to the prisoners. It costs us every couple days is $21 because we have to buy stamps for all these different prisons all across the U.S. They all have different kinds of stamps and all different prices on them. But we really, really, really appreciate all of you guys that are out there that are helping us do this. I understand that a lot of you don't have the time or the heart or the strength to write these guys, and I understand. It is a very hardcore ministry. A lot of guys with a lot of problems, and it's fishing in the darkness. We have a tremendous amount of great successes, but we also have a lot of sadness, a lot of brokenness, a lot of broken people, and we're always trying to minister to them, show them some love, show them the love of our Messiah, who clearly said that, when you do this for the least of them, you're doing it for me. And so this is the least that we can do for our Creator and His Son, who have done so much for all of us. So thank you guys to everybody who has been a part of this out there. Now, let us get into the first book of Enoch. I'm going to give you guys a recap. We are on chapter 37 today. We finished up 36 on the last reading. So this is called the Book of the Watchers, right? The first part of this. And it's one of the oldest and most influential apocalyptic texts. It was written in the 3rd BCE, but it's one of these things that has been found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, parts of it, fragments of it. And the Book of Enoch is simply astounding. Now, chapters 1 through 5 are about Enoch's blessings and the coming judgment. Enoch gives a vision of the future judgment upon the wicked and the blessings for the righteous. He announces the arrival of the Holy Great One, and that all creation will witness divine judgment. He emphasizes the immutability of natural law versus the moral law which humans violate, right? Now, we have a moral law, which is the first 5 books of Scripture. It's called the Torah, and that has been hidden from most people by all these religions, right? You have missionaries that come knocking at your door, and they'll tell you the way the Romans rode to Christ, or they'll tell you the way to the Kingdom Hall, or the Mormons, whatever, right? Every one of these people will lead you astray. Now, the people are probably good people, but they are hoaxed. They have been psychologically manipulated into it being a part of a cult. Now, a cult is something that is contrary to what the actual truth is. And people believe it, hook, line, and sinker. And so the next part of this, of Enoch's book, is 1 through 5, is he encourages righteous conduct and warns sinners of the coming destruction. Now, chapters 6 through 11 talk about the rebellion of the Watchers. You had 200 messengers, the Watchers. They descended to Mount Hermon to take human wives. The chief among them were Semyaza and Aziel, teaching forbidden knowledge, weapons, cosmetic sorcery. And then they had the offspring, which is known as the Nephilim, and the Eliud. And they devour all, causing chaos on the earth. They even eat the humans, right? And they violate the animals. They're wicked, wicked, wicked beings. And the earth and the heavens cry out to heaven, right? This prompts divine intervention. Now, chapters 12 through 16 are Enoch's mission to the Watchers. Enoch is sent by Elohim to deliver a message of the judgment to the watchers. They are forbidden from ever returning to the Shamayim and condemned to watch the destruction of their sons. Aziel is bound and cast into the desert, a foreshadow of the scapegoat of the Yom Kippur ritual. Right? These chapters explain the origins of the demons and the spirits of the Nephilim. Now, from what we have discerned from the book of Enoch, and why we all need to be extremely well balanced in our spiritual and physical life, is that there is darkness. There's a realm that is all around us, right? There's demons all around us, as well as messengers all around us that are always protecting us and always trying to take us to school. So the closer we get to Elohim, and I will tell you, I woke up tremendous amounts of times at night when I'm hungry, I don't sleep well, and I just sit there and pray. Right? I just sit there and I reach out to my Elohim. I reach out to his ways and to just talk to him. And I fall back to sleep, right? And it's something that I wouldn't be waking up in the middle of the night if I was content and full and on my way to death's door. So this is an amazing journey for all of us. Chapter 17 through 19, Enoch's first journey through the cosmos. Enoch travels with angelic guides, Uriel, Raphael, through heavenly realms and the earth. He sees strange geographic features, hollow mountains, fiery places, and crystal palaces. He witnesses the prison of the angels and fallen stars, those awaiting judgment. Now, chapters 20 through 22 are the 7 archangels and the realm of the dead. It introduces us to the 7 archangels, Uriel, Raphael, Ragiel, Michael, Serachiel, Gabriel, and Remiel. Enoch is shown Sheol, divided into 4 hollow places for the souls of the dead. There's a cavern for the righteous, a cavern for the sinners awaiting judgment, a cavern for the sinners not yet judged, and ones for those slain for righteousness. Now, chapters 23 through 27 is the celestial and cosmic phenomena. Enoch observes celestial fire and the place of punishment for the stars and luminaries that rebelled. He describes the place of the wicked, fiery mountains and valleys of torment. Now, chapters 28 through 36 focus on the ends of the earth and the elemental forces. He continues the cosmic exploration, ends of the earth, winds, and the foundations of heaven. He sees the storehouses of snow, hail, wind, and dew. And it's a gate, it's a portals, right? There's all these different portals, and out of the portals come the winds. Out of the portals come the rain and the sleet and the snow and the dew and all this kind of stuff. It's all a set up, which it leads us to the understanding that all of these space explorations and NASA and all this crazy stuff, it's not what they trying to sell us, right? They're simply extorting the American people, and all the governments of the world have all these space agencies as they fire their rockets into the oceans. And that's the thing about those who explore the possibilities that we're not monkeys on a spinning water ball, is once you go flat, you don't go back, because you have to have a bigger imagination to believe in this magical word gravity, when it appears that you have things like bees and hummingbirds and birds, and they're not forced to the ground, right? It seems like whatever is lighter, whatever has wind power, is able to be lifted up. Imagine an airplane taking off that is going 1,000 miles against the curve. All airplanes at every airport would have to go with the earth spin, or else you'd be going against it. At the same level, if you floated up in a balloon and you had the earth rotating under you, you would just have to stay stationary, and you'd make it over from California to New York in a short amount of time. So those are things that we should all consider as Yah's people, as the remnant, and not be hoaxed into this stuff. We need to have our eyes open and our ears open so that we're able to understand the power of our Creator. And it's man has really, really corrupted society. He also, in this chapter, witnesses a majestic mountain, possibly Mount Sinai, the tree of life, and the garden of righteousness. He describes the rivers of fire and eternal punishment for the wicked. All right, guys, let's get into this. This is an amazing book. This is what you're seeing right before you. This is Yah Scriptures. This is the free Android and the free Apple app. We are uploading the Spanish version of this either today or on Monday, maybe Sunday, maybe first day, and it is done. And so it is a beautiful version, 100% in Spanish, and we believe it is the greatest Spanish version of scriptures that has ever been released as well. And so we are currently working on the Hindu version. And so if you guys want to get this, free of charge, right? It doesn't take any internet. We don't report on anything. You open it up. It doesn't track you. It doesn't do any of this stuff that all these other funky things do. It's a one-time download, free of charge, and it is there for you for all times. Now, something amazing that we love with this right here is this third bar right here. This is Torah commands. Now, these are the entire 158 commands that we can keep today in our world, in our environment. And when you learn these, they become a part of you, because when you write them on your heart, on your mind, on your soul, and they become a part of your life, then it's the living, breathing word of the Most High that has come upon you. And when we are obedient to our Creator, He will be loyal to us and invite us into this kingdom to come. And it's only going to be by fear and trembling that we're able to do this. And so here we are into the book of Enoch. These are the books, just a quick tour. These are the books of all of it. There's 103 books in this. You will never find a more complete version of scriptures than the Yah Scriptures right here. Now, we are into chapter 37. The second vision, which he saw, the vision of wisdom, which Cainach, the son of Yared, the son of Mahaliel, the son of Kenan, the son of Enosh, the son of Sheth, the son of Adam saw. And this is the beginning of the words of wisdom, which I lifted up my voice to speak, and say to those who dwell on the earth, hear, you men of old time, and see, you that come after, the words of the Kadosh One, which I speak before Yahuwah of hosts. Now, a lot of this is for all of us in these end times, right? A lot of what Enoch tells us is stuff that we can use today to break the hoaxes, to break the deceptions that have been given to all of us, and to align ourselves and our worlds in the way of Elohim. 3, it were better to declare to the men of old time, but even from those that come after, we are not withhold the beginning of wisdom. Till the present day, such wisdom has never been given by Yahuwah of hosts, as I have received according to my insight, according to the good pleasure of Yahuwah of hosts, by whom the lot of eternal Kai has been given to me. Now 3 parables were imparted to me, and I lifted up my voice and recounted them to those that dwell on the earth. The first parable, when the congregation of the righteous shall appear, and sinners shall be judged for their sins, and shall be driven from the face of the earth. Now, this is a future revelation, right? Because we still have wicked people on the earth. The righteous have not come and have judged people on this earth. So this is the first parable. And when the righteous one shall appear before the eyes of the righteous, whose elect works hang upon Yahuwah of hosts, and light shall appear to the righteous and the elect who dwell on the earth. Where then will be the dwelling of the sinners? And where the resting place of those who have denied Yahuwah of hosts? It would have been good for them if they had not been born. Now, we heard this about Judas, right? Yehuda Iscariot, the betrayer, the great betrayer of our beautiful Messiah, right? It would have been better for him not to have been born, but he was, and he served out a purpose. Now, there's a question that has come around. You know, we had an inmate that wrote us, and one of his family members committed suicide. And he was looking for scriptures that said that people that commit suicide go to hell. And for those of us who are astute in scriptures, we don't have anything. We don't have any kind of understanding of the world of suicide, other than you are committing murder. And so by committing murder, it's one of those things. It's a very touchy subject. It's something that we don't have any guidance on, but he was looking for the scriptures that specifically said people that commit suicide go to hell. So we're not condoning suicide by any means. In fact, we obviously, if you're to that point, that's where I would suggest fasting. I would suggest praying. I would suggest reading your scriptures and finding hope in the scriptures, right? Because a lot of us can get very, very depressed. A lot of us can get very, very down. This world is a dark place. It is something that it's sometimes very hard to maneuver in. Sometimes there are weeks of sadness, days of sadness, months of sadness. Sometimes it's a sad existence, right? But the hope is in our Creator and His Son. The hope is in the words that he has given us, the Torah. That's where we can align our lives and we can seek our Creator and we fall on him. This is who has our words, right? We have his ear. If we are willing to reach out and speak to our Creator, it will not fall on deaf ears. Your tragedies, your sadness, your brokenness, your sad life, even of depression, it's not going unnoticed, right? Sometimes we have to fast. Sometimes we have to pray. Sometimes we have to, in fact, that's not just sometimes. We need to do this all the time. I am becoming a very huge proponent of fasting. I truly believe that at least once a week, people should at least fast. And I'm not saying it from like this is a Torah command to fast, because the Pharisees and Sadducees always did that as well at some points. I don't know exactly what their fasting schedule was, but we do know that it is very healthy and physically and spiritually. And so, guys, if you're in that rut, if you guys are feeling like life is just running over you like a bunch of speed bumps, then it is time to seek your scriptures. It's time to read and pray and see what our Creator can deliver to you, because he can pull us out of this. He can stop drug addiction. He can stop alcoholism. He can change all of this stuff. That's not to mean that we're not going to have to walk in sadness. It's not going to mean that we're not tested. Those who are tested are loved more than those who are not, right? When you look at the Christians out there that have just a good life and cars and money and all this other stuff, and there's no bills, and it's just like I've always noticed, those in religion seem to do very, very well. It's one of those things, right? This isn't our lands to create money. This isn't our place to make mammon and to try to get rich. What we need to do is we need to be stacking up our credit card of the Shamayim. We need to be making sure that we're doing the things that makes our Creator happy, that we're witnessing to other people out there, that we're constantly throwing out seeds to people, that we're always trying to tell people about the Shamayim, becoming the laughing stock of the people, right? You guys know the kind of attacks that come upon all of us who are seeking our Creator. And, this is what our life is. Now, I went off in the weeds a little bit. Let's continue back into this. This is the first parable. When the secrets of the righteous shall be revealed, and the sinners rightly ruled, and the wicked driven from the presence of the righteous and elect. From that time, those that possess the earth shall no longer be powerful and exalted, and they shall not be able to look upon the face of the Kodesh. For Yahuwah of hosts has caused his light to appear on the face of the Kodesh, righteous and elect. Wow. Okay. Well, there's going to be a time when we have the war machines. We have the Satanists that are called the politicians of every country, of every continent, every single unclean spirit that is in these politicians worldwide that are doing great evil and bringing us into a new world order. Well, they're not going to even be able to look upon the people that are righteous, right? That's what we want. We want a full-on separation from the darkness, and this is going to be coming, guys. So hang on. Hang on, guys. Be strong. 5. Then the sovereigns and the mighty perish and be given into the hands of the righteous and Kodesh. Look who wins last, guys. Look who's last man standing. And from there on, none shall seek for themselves compassion from Yahuwah of hosts, for their life is at an end. And it shall come to be in those days that elect and Kodesh children will descend from the high Shamayim, and their seed will become one with the children of men. It's interesting times, right? Wow, that's strange. And in those days, Canuck received books of ardor and wrath, and books of unrest and expulsion, and compassion shall not be granted to them, says Yahuwah of hosts. And in those days, a whirlwind carried me off from the earth and put me down at the end of the Shamayim. And there I saw another vision, the dwelling places of the Kodesh and the resting places of the righteous. And here my eyes saw their dwellings with his righteous messengers and their resting places with the Kodesh. And they petitioned and interceded and prayed for the children of men, and righteousness flowed before them as water, and compassion like dew upon the earth. And so it is amongst them forever and ever. And in that place my eyes saw the elect one of righteousness and of belief. And I saw his dwelling place under the wings of Yahuwah of hosts. And righteousness shall prevail in his days, and the righteous and elect shall be without number before him forever and ever. And all the righteous and elect before him shall be strong as fiery lights, and their mouth shall be full of baraka, and their lips exalt the name of Yahuwah of hosts. And righteousness before him shall never fail, and uprightness shall never fail before him. There I wanted to dwell, and my spirit longed for that dwelling place, and there as yet has been my portion. For so has it been established concerning me before the Yahweh of hosts. In those days I praised and exalted the name of Yahweh of hosts with barakah, with blessings and praises, because he has destined for me for barakah and esteem according to the good pleasure of Yahweh of hosts. For a long time my eyes regarded that place, and I barak him, I blessed him, and praised him. Baruch, blessed is he, and may he be Baruch from the beginning and for eternity. And before him there is no ceasing. He knows before the world was created what is forever, and what will be from generation unto generation. Those who do not sleep barak you. They stand before your esteem and barak, praise and exalt, saying, Kodesh, 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 holy, holy, holy is Yahweh of hosts. He fills the earth with spirits. And here my eyes saw all those who do not sleep. They stand before him and barak, and say, Baruch be you, and Baruch be the name of Yahweh forever and ever. And my face was changed, for I could no longer look on. And after that I saw thousands of thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, a multitude beyond number and reckoning, who stood before Yahweh of hosts. And on the four sides of Yahweh of hosts I saw four presences, different from those that do not sleep. And I learned their names, for the messengers that went with me made known to me their names, and showed me all the hidden matters. And I heard the voices of those four presences, and as they uttered praises before Yahweh of hosts. The first voice, Barak, Yahweh of hosts, forever and ever. And the second voice I heard, Barakah, the elect one, and the elect ones who hang upon Yahweh of hosts. And the third voice I heard, pray and intercede for those who dwell on the earth, and make supplication in the name of Yahweh of hosts. And I heard the fourth voice fending off the adversaries and forbidding them to come before Yahweh of hosts to accuse them who dwell on the earth. After that, the messenger of peace who went with me, who showed me all matters that are hidden, who are these four presences which I have seen, and whose words I have not heard, which I have heard and written down. And he said to me, the first is Michael, full of favor and patient. And the second, who is appointed over all the diseases and all the wounds of the children of men, is Raphael. And the third, who is appointed over all the powers, is Gabriel. And the fourth, who is appointed over the repentance unto expectancy of those who inherit life, is named Phanuel. And these are the four messengers of Yahweh of hosts, and the four voices I heard in those days. Wow, we're already in this 37 minutes, guys. Let's look at this one. All right, I think we're going to end right here. I think this is a good stopping spot for all of this. My brothers and my sisters, I love you all. I'm so ecstatic to have you guys around and to be a part of these channels, these platforms, to be a part of our little assemblies. Guys, we run a live Shabbat on Shabbat. It is 11 o'clock Central Time. It is an incredible assembly that we sit and we are able to speak with all you guys and chat. There is a tremendous amount of very astute brothers and sisters, very Torah-based, very understanding in the ways of our Creator. And it is a baruka. It is a blessing of a time that we are together, that we can be together. So I invite you guys to our main channel, Yahuwah and the Torah. It is on YouTube. If you're on any other platforms or anywhere else, it's only on our main YouTube channel. And so, guys, thank you guys very much for being a part of this. To everybody who was fasting with me, I'm sorry I didn't give you guys any updates. I was just feeling, this was a rough fast. This was definitely a rough fast. And, it's one of those things I try very, very hard to make it in here. And I want to make sure that I'm not pulling off a Pharisee, that I'm not... that I'm giving you guys the encouragement that you guys deserve and that the kingdom of our people deserve. And it's just not me moping and trying to struggle to survive. And so, guys, with that, huge hugs, much love. Hopefully I'll see you guys on Shabbat. And if not, Monday is probably the next time I will see you guys again. Yah willing. And much love. I'm out.